You're sitting in the hot seat. The interviewer leans across the desk, looks you dead in the eye, and asks a question that literally makes your heart race. Do you tell the truth and risk looking incompetent? Or do you kind of exaggerate and risk looking dishonest? Well, let's completely flip that script. Today, we're going to turn the most stressful moments of a job interview into your absolute greatest competitive advantage.
Tell me about a time you failed. Just hearing that dreaded question can make your stomach drop, right? But here is the secret. Mastering how to answer these specific types of behavioral questions is exactly what separates an average candidate from an exceptional one.
So let's actually step inside the interviewer's mind for a moment. Why do they ask these things? Notice that these aren't your traditional, what are your hobbies, or where do you see yourself in 5 years questions. They start with phrases like, describe a situation, or give me an example of. And they do this because employers are looking for concrete evidence of your soft skills, your professional judgment, and your cultural fit.
And this perfectly illustrates the core philosophy of modern recruitment. Past behavior is the best predictor of future performance. Employers demand real-world examples because they don't just want your vague opinion about how you might act in a difficult situation. No way. They want undeniable proof of how you actually acted in the past.
Let's pause for a second for a quick language spotlight, because this word, predictor, is incredibly useful in a professional business context. We never want to just learn this as an isolated vocabulary word. I want you to learn it in reusable chunks. So instead of just saying predictor, you can say a reliable predictor or a strong predictor of success. For example, effective communication is a strong predictor of management success. Sounds so much more authoritative than just saying it. It shows what will happen, doesn't it?
Now, here is a massive recruiter's red flag: giving a vague answer or relying on cliches. It's an immediate disqualifier. Let's do a quick say it better exercise. A lot of learners say things like, I'm a hard worker. But to a recruiter, that means absolutely nothing without measurable results. A professional might say instead, I consistently deliver results under tight deadlines, or I have a track record of exceeding project targets. See the difference there? One is a tired cliche, the other promises actual evidence.
To avoid those red flags and stop yourself from rambling nervously when the pressure is on, you need a solid storytelling map. And for that, we use the STAR framework.
Let's break down this STAR acronym step by step. First up, situation. You just set the scene. Who, where, and what was at stake. Keep this brief. Only about 20% of your total answer. Second, task. What was your specific objective or responsibility? Third, action. This right here is the heart of your story. What did you personally do? You need powerful action verbs here. And fourth, result. What was the outcome? This is where you provide your concrete proof.
Let's do another language spotlight right here to really upgrade your vocabulary for that action step. Look at the word spearheaded. Instead of using basic English and just saying, I led the project, a C1 level professional says, I spearheaded the project. Let's look at a quick mini workplace dialogue to see this in context. Imagine a manager asks, who is handling the software migration? An employee responds, I'm spearheading that initiative. Notice how natural and confident that sounds? You want to use chunks like spearhead a project, spearhead a campaign, or spearhead the transition.
Moving right along to the results stage, let's talk about the word quantify. To quantify means to express your results in hard numbers. Did you exceed expectations? Awesome! By how much? Using numbers builds massive interviewer confidence because it moves your story from a subjective opinion to a verifiable fact. So always try to quantify your impact or quantify the results.
All right, let's actually look at how this plays out in the real world with a practical case study focused on problem solving. We're going to see the STAR method actively working.
Here's a direct side-by-side comparison for you. On the left, we have a pretty weak answer. I worked on improving our reporting process. It went well and saved the team a lot of time. It's vague, right? It totally lacks agency. But over on the right, look at this polished professional STAR answer. In my last role, our weekly reporting process took 3 hours and caused delays. Boom, that's your situation. I recognized we needed a more efficient system to meet deadlines. There's the task. Notice that professional collocation meet deadlines? I took the initiative to create a reusable dashboard and aligned metrics with management. There's your action. We reduced reporting time from 3 hours to 45 minutes. And finally, your highly quantified result.
Now, in that strong answers action phase, we saw the word initiative. This is an absolutely key soft skill and a vital business English word. You don't just have initiative. The natural collocation is to take the initiative or demonstrate initiative. Let's do some quick speaking practice. How would you tell an interviewer that you started a new project independently? I'll pause, Say it out loud right now. You could say, I took the initiative to launch a new project. Simple, professional, and highly effective.
And look at this number, 75%. This visually anchors the measurable outcome of our strong answer. Replacing a 3-hour reporting process with a 45-minute one equates to a 75% increase in efficiency. Let me tell you, when an interviewer hears 75%, they instantly write it down. That is the sheer power of quantifying your impact.
Now, you might be panicking a bit, thinking you need to memorize 50 different stories for an interview. Let's shift our strategy completely. You don't need 50 stories. You really only need 3 to 5 highly adaptable ones to maximize your experiences.
You can take one excellent star story, say a story about a difficult project that was falling way behind schedule, and use it to answer questions across multiple themes. If they ask about leadership, well, emphasize how you guided the team. If they ask about adaptability, emphasize how you changed the software tools midway through. If they ask about conflict resolution, emphasize how you managed disagreements among the stakeholders. It's the exact same story, you just change the emphasis.
To describe this kind of adaptable storytelling, we use the word versatile. This is a fantastic C1 level business vocabulary word. You want to build a versatile skill set, be a versatile employee, and in this case, prepare versatile star stories. It shows you're flexible and dynamic.
But as you tell these versatile stories, beware of this massive recruiter's red flag, overusing the word we instead of I. Interviewers are checking for individual accountability. If you only ever say, we launched the product or we solved the problem, the recruiter doesn't actually know what you did. Why should they hire you? Make sure your action step is completely full of, I spearheaded, I took the initiative, and I designed.
Knowing the STAR method is great, but your actual delivery is what seals the deal and makes you sound like a true C1 level professional.
I want you to model these specific sentence starters. They naturally structure your answer and they project so much authority. When they ask the dreaded question, start gracefully. One example that comes to mind is, then move right into the task. I recognized a bottleneck and decided to, next, describe your action to solve the problem and finally, conclude with a little reflection. Looking back, I learned that using these reusable chunks completely stops you from hesitating and makes your spoken English sound incredibly fluent.
Let's spotlight that term bottleneck from our sentence starters. This is a highly authentic business expression. Instead of using generic words like a big problem or a delay, seasoned professionals talk about identifying a bottleneck or eliminating a bottleneck. For example, the approval process became a bottleneck for the entire marketing campaign. Dropping this into your answer immediately signals to the interviewer that you speak the true language of modern business.
So as we wrap up this explainer, let's quickly summarize our 3 key business ideas. Use the STAR method to structure your thoughts, always quantify your results, and maintain individual accountability by using I instead of we. And don't forget your 3 vital business English expressions. Take the initiative, spearhead a project, and identify a bottleneck. Here is your mission for today. I want you to audit one major achievement from your career. Write it down using the STAR method. Then grab your phone and record yourself giving a 90-second answer. Listen back to ensure you sound confident and professional. If you found today's lesson helpful, please like this explainer, subscribe to The English Effect, and share it with someone else who's learning English. Don't forget to download today's free vocabulary companion workbook using the link in the description. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, embrace English excellence.